Daniel Miller was a man whose life revolved around work. At only 38, he was already the CEO of a fast-growing tech company in New York. Known for his sharp mind and relentless dedication, Daniel had no family, no wife, no children. He lived in a luxury apartment, often returning late at night with nothing but silence to greet him. One evening, as Daniel was reviewing a contract in his office, his phone rang. The number was unknown. He hesitated for a moment, but answered. "Mr. Miller?" a rushed female voice asked. "Yes, speaking," Daniel replied, confused. "This is St. Mary's Hospital. Your wife has just given birth. She is in the ICU. Please come immediately." Daniel froze, the pen slipping from his hand. For a moment, he thought it was some kind of prank. "I think you have the wrong person," he said slowly. "I don't have a wife." But the nurse sounded certain. "Sir, the patient gave your name. She insisted you're her husband. Please, it's urgent." Against his better judgment, something in Daniel compelled him to go. Maybe it was curiosity, or maybe the faint tremor in the nurse's voice. Within 30 minutes, he was standing in the brightly lit corridors of St. Mary's, his expensive suit making him look out of place among the rushing doctors and worried families. "I received a call," he told the receptionist. "My wife, but there must be some mistake." The nurse checked the chart. "Room 412, ICU. The name listed is Emily Carter. She gave your number as her husband. Please, it's urgent." Against his better judgment, something in Daniel compelled him to go. Maybe it was curiosity, or maybe the faint tremor in the nurse's voice. Within 30 minutes, he was standing in the brightly lit corridors of St. Mary's, his expensive suit making him look out of place among the rushing doctors and worried families. "I received a call," he told the receptionist. "My wife, but there must be some mistake." The nurse checked the chart. "Room 412, ICU. The name listed is Emily Carter. She gave your number as her husband." Daniel's heart skipped a beat. He knew that name. Emily Carter. She had been his college girlfriend over 15 years ago. They had loved each other deeply, but life had pulled them in different directions. Daniel had chosen his career, while Emily had chosen a quieter life. They hadn't spoken in over a decade. Shaken, Daniel walked into the ICU. There she was, Emily. Pale, weak, but unmistakably her. Tubes and monitors surrounded her, but when her eyes fluttered open and landed on him, she smiled faintly. "You came," she whispered. Daniel's chest tightened. "Emily, what happened? Why did you give my name?" A soft cry filled the air. A nurse placed a newborn in a cradle beside the bed. Emily turned her gaze toward the baby. "I had no one else to call. I didn't want to leave this world without knowing someone would look after him." Daniel swallowed hard. "But why me?" Tears welled in Emily's eyes. "Because you were the only man I ever truly loved. I know we ended things long ago, but when they asked who my husband was, your name was the only one I could say. It felt safe." Daniel was stunned. The baby's tiny hands curled in the air, and he felt an unfamiliar warmth in his chest. He wasn't a father. He wasn't even married. But in that moment, something inside him shifted. Hours passed. Doctors rushed in and out. Emily's condition worsened. Daniel held her hand, refusing to leave her side. She whispered stories from their college days, about the dreams they once shared. Daniel listened, guilt gnawing at him. He had left her behind to chase success, and now here she was, fragile, yet still trusting him in her final moments. As dawn broke, Emily's breathing grew shallow. She looked at him with eyes filled with both sorrow and peace. "Promise me, you'll take care of him," she whispered. Daniel's throat tightened. He nodded, tears streaming down his face. "I promise, Emily. I'll protect him with everything I have." With a faint smile, Emily closed her eyes. Moments later, the monitors flatlined. the room filled with the sound of silence. Daniel stood there, gripping her hand, feeling the weight of the promise he had just made. He wasn't prepared to be a father. He had never imagined this life. But as he looked at the baby, her child, he knew he couldn't walk away. Over the next few days, Daniel handled the funeral arrangements. Few people attended. Emily had lived a quiet, solitary life. Daniel held the baby in his arms throughout, realizing how fragile and precious life was. He named the boy Ethan, a name Emily had once told him she loved when they were in college. The businessman who once measured his worth by numbers and deals now found himself waking at midnight to feed a baby, learning how to change diapers, and soothing cries he never thought he'd hear. His colleagues were shocked. Reporters speculated. But Daniel ignored the world. For the first time, he wasn't living for money or success. He was living for someone else. Months passed. Ethan grew stronger, and Daniel grew softer. His once cold and calculated heart now carried warmth. Every time Ethan smiled, Daniel saw a glimpse of Emily. And though she was gone, she had left him with a gift far greater than any fortune, a chance to love, to protect, and to finally live a meaningful life. One night, as Daniel rocked Ethan to sleep, he whispered, "Your mother was the bravest woman I ever knew, and I'll make sure you grow up knowing how much she loved you." The strange phone call that had started as a mistake had changed Daniel Miller forever. He no longer saw it as fate's cruel trick. Instead, he saw it as destiny, an unexpected way of giving him the family he never thought he'd have, and a chance to honor the love he had once lost. And so, the man who had everything but love finally discovered what it truly meant to be rich.